All right, guys, what is up? Sorry for the delay tonight. Just getting everything together. I'm going to give it a couple minutes for people to feed in. If anybody's going to watch it live, I know we got plenty of time to go back and watch the replay. So, just initially, I want to thank everybody for following us and supporting everything that we're trying to do with Jaeger Bombs Fantasy Sports. Switching over to Discord, I know it's been quite a change from Slack and Roto Pros over to the Patreon. And anybody who is already with Chris with Patreon, just switching over the chats. It's been quite a process. So I want to thank all of you guys for that. It's really been a seamless transition so far for us. And I look forward to a continued success for all of us. It's been fun, and we hope to continue. We've mentioned on a lot of the videos that we've been doing that we are really liking doing these live shows. So we're going to continue to do them. Chris is doing them a couple days a week for baseball. I'm going to do them for soccer, for EPL when it comes back, and continue it with these last three showdowns for the Euro slates, and probably some here and there for just random leagues. So really excited for that. If you haven't already, hit the like button. It helps us out quite a bit, and the subscribe, because that's going to give you a notification every time that we go live. So if you could do that for us, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm going to hop right in, and if you have any questions, just be sure to drop them in the chat. I'm going to post that I'm live in the Discord. And Chris may be joining us. He let me know that he might be home in a few minutes and join us here. So that would be fun for everybody. So I'm going to hop right in. So it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow with these teams matching up, Italy and Spain. It's going to be quite a tussle, I believe. Italy is the slight favorite here, plus 145 at the last time I looked. 2.25 total, 2.25, somewhere in there, looking at the odds. And so if you can kind of look at that, you can see what the sports books are looking at for this game. They're seeing a 1-1, 1-0, either way type game here. And I couldn't agree more, to be honest. Italy has looked very good, and Spain has been a little shaky as far as finishing, but they control a lot of the game, and we've seen them do that throughout the tournament. If I had to lean one way, I think personally it would be Spain. But it's really a toss-up, and for DFS purposes, it's really in the showdown format, and I'm going to touch on some strategy. It's all about how you build and what type of contest you're in. That is the biggest thing that we're looking at, and I'm going to try to touch on how I would construct in each build. I've not highlighted any plays. I'm going to do that as we go here and talk you through why I'm highlighting certain guys. So I'm going to start out with Spain. And if we look at the projected formations here, Danny Olmo is projected in according to SofaScore. Koke obviously has been the set piece man for them, so I would expect him in. And should be overall set pieces. Gerard Moreno, he's been the guy that I like for them from a goal scoring perspective, from just overall best player getting in the back of the net type guy. He's exactly best player for Villarreal, which we saw in the Europa League, and they were able to take down that a couple months ago. I really like his talent. I hope that he gets the start here like is projected alongside Morata, who has been a little bit up and down throughout the tournament. He's got there in good matchups when he's able to get a bunch of shots, but he's not been very clinical about his finishes. So if I had to go somebody up there, it would be Gerard Moreno. But Koke would be the best cash play in my eyes on this team. And I'm going to touch on the Italy pieces for cash. But if you're looking for just a cash type build that you're getting all the floor from both sides, which is what you want to do, and then you're going to have a couple spots that you're not having that. Maybe you go for the goals. But Koke would be the top cash play on Spain. On the other side in cash, you're looking at Insigne again. He has been splitting set pieces with Verratti since Verratti has came back and started. So I expect that to continue. They are the two top cash plays in my eyes. Chizea is been very good as well. He got the start in the last match and was able played pretty well. He is a cash play. I don't know that he would be number 3 on the cash list from that team for me, but he's either 3 or 4. And the other one in that scenario would be Emerson at left back here. Emerson will be starting for Spinazzola, who was injured and will miss quite a bit of time out of the game. I think he tore his Achilles or something. So Emerson should start and should play the entire game. That would be just kind of looking at the depth that they have there. I think he should play the entire game, and that's big. I mean, we've talked about it with the subs that we've been seeing. With there being 5 subs allowed, it's kind of flipped a little bit on its head when we see all the guys sub out and then you see goals come in after that. It's very annoying. For cash games, you're not really worried about people not playing the starters. If you get in the big, and I'm going to touch on the GPP strategy soon, but if you get in the big GPP, you're going to have people that have subs in their lineups. And if a sub scores a goal, there's a chance that with as many entries as there are, that a sub goal could win it for somebody. But those are the 4 top cash plays. Insigne, Verratti, 1, 2. Chizea and Emerson would be 3, 4 for sure. So that's where I'm going there. If you come back to the sheet, I have a little bit of updating to do. Let me see here. So these were in before the Sofa Score projected lineups were in. And so Rodri is definitely not projected. Danny Olmo is projected in this spot. Getting a little bit of background here that you can kind of see how I go through the process. And I've not been able to do it. I've been out today with family down at the lake. So a little bit behind, but kind of had in mind where I was going here for the last few days. Let's see here. Azpilicueta and Jordi Alba. Pau Torres or Eric Garcia it's Eric Garcia projected him. I'm going to leave it Pau Torres. I think he will get the start. So that's the projected lineup for Spain. Koke would be, like I said, the cash play. I love Moreno if he's in. Jordi Alba is a very good cash play as well. He's not one of the priorities on the slate, I don't think. I think he would be the 4th or 5th guy into your lineup in cash, but he fits. Morata and Olmo are GPP only for me. And Pedri, he's played, I think, every minute of the tournament so far for them. I just don't like what he does during those minutes. But there is something to be said that he does play. Azpilicueta is fine as well. That's what I'm going to leave it for now. Those would be the top plays for me. And let me swap back really quick here. Okay. So on the other side, Italy, Insigne is 11,000, but he's the top overall play. And this is not their projected lineup. We have Immobile is projected in, and Chizea is projected to start for Berardi again, which I expect to happen. All right, so that is the projected there. Verratti, Jorginho, Barella, Spinazzola will be Emerson. Florenzi has not been starting. It's been Di Lorenzo, Chelani, and Bonucci, and then Donnarumma. So that is the projected lineups there. Looking as far as a cash perspective, Mobile is not a cash play for me. Like I said, Kazea, it would be a cash option. And then in the midfield, there's a couple options as well. I said Verratti is a cash play for sure, cash core play. And then you got Emerson, who is also a core cash option. Other than that, I'm going to start talking about GPP strategies because I think that is a big thing when it comes to how you build in, whether it's single entry, multi-entry, and showdown especially. Cash, you're going to put one of the floor set piece guys in Insigne or possibly Koke if you're paying down in the captain spot. GPPs is a little different. I think it's all about scripting your teams. And to do that, you got to just choose before you make it. Is it going to be a 1-1 type build? And in that build, you're not going to want either goalie tomorrow. I don't think they're going to be able to get there in a 1-1 type build. 1-1 after 90, that is. I know it goes to 120 minutes, but if you're looking at both teams score, you probably don't want a goalie. You want to try to go for each of those goals, maybe the assist, and the floor crossers and things like that. So if you're going 1-0, obviously Italy. If you're going 1-0 Italy, you're going to probably want Donnarumma. You're going to want Insigne, and then whoever is going to, you think, score. I think in Showdown, it's a lot easier to do multi-entry. It's not actually the route that I take. I mentioned earlier in when I was talking about cash that you don't see many people, obviously in cash, play subs. In the big multi-entry tournament, you're going to have people playing subs. So as many routes as you think you have filled, if you're not playing 150, you're probably not getting the sub lineups. And there's a possibility that could hurt you in a tournament that big. So the route that I take when I'm playing GPPs, really any slate, but especially in these showdowns, is doing either single entry or the higher dollar stakes that limit the amount of entries. There's not 150 max. And people in those dollar amounts don't like, obviously, taking chances with subs. So it happened in the Europa League final with, like I mentioned, Villarreal. I took down that 180 GPP. I think it was for 3K. And there was a lot of subs. It went all the way through extra time and went to penalties, if you remember that game. But I had a bunch of people sub by the end of 120 minutes. But it did not kill me because, like I said, people in that tournament were not playing the subs. And ownership does get a little bit more condensed. So it's really all about, in those type of contests, nailing your captain, whether it's you're going for the floor in a low-scoring matchup, or you're going for a guy that you think scores the goal in the game, or 2 goals, or whatever you think it may be. But I think in those single entries, you can definitely take a cashy approach and flare it up with some correlation between the goalkeepers. And it's like Donnarumma and Emerson would be a nice correlation play. Or if you wanted to play Chelani at 3K with Donnarumma and Emerson, I think that makes some sense. If you're going an Italy heavy build, if you're going the other side, it makes sense to go Azpilicueta, Alba, Pau Torres, Laporte, any of those with Simon or Simone, we'll say. So that's kind of where I'm at. My favorite cash captain is Insigne. And even though he's high priced, I think there is some value that you can get. Emerson is fair priced. Koke is 7,400, which is kind of mid-range. And then Verratti is mid-range as well. I think those are kind of the four that I'm going to try to get in a cash type build. If I'm making a pivot for GPPs, that's where it gets a little difficult for me. So you can go a few different ways that I'm kind of seeing. And I think my favorite right now is Gerard Moreno, as long as he's starting. I said I do kind of lean Spain, and I think Moreno has the talent. I know he struggled a little bit. He's missed a couple penalty kicks. I'm not sure who's going to be on PKs, to be honest, for Spain if they were to get one. But I think there is a decent chance that it's still Moreno. He's been very good with Villarreal on PKs. It's just kind of something, probably small sample size and just a little in his head. But I think it's a nice spot to target him at 9,400, and that's where I'm going to be going for GPP captain. My favorite one would be Moreno. If you're going anywhere else, I think Verratti makes some sense as just a cheaper mid-range captain. I don't think Koke has enough upside for a GPP captain play. He does get subs quite a bit early. But Verratti, we've seen him score. He can score and assist potentially. Immobile makes a lot of sense as a GPP captain. He is pretty reliant on goal scoring for Italy, but I could definitely see that paying off tomorrow. He could definitely net two, and I wouldn't be fully surprised. Olmo and Murata would be kind of the other options for goals if you're just searching out goals. But one interesting one that I've not highlighted yet, and it's on the Italy side, and it's Jorginho. Not sure if you want him at captain, but you definitely could make that build and then get a lot of the high-priced plays in there with him. But Jorginho should still be on PKs for Italy. I know that just increases his upside. He is kind of a central midfielder, but I think that just the upside that he has to put one in the back of the net, whether it is through PK or not, I think 4,200 is a very fair price. So he would make some sense for a captain there in GPPs. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going tomorrow. I'm looking at Moreno as my favorite GPP captain. Second would be probably Jorginho on that other side, or Immobile. I mean, Insigne you can definitely play in either format in the captain. Favorite overall plays on the slate: Koke, Emerson, Insigne, Moreno overall, and Verratti. That would be the five that I'm going to try to build around, however that falls into place. But remember the type format you're playing. Like I said, if you're do everything you can, honestly, I know the big prize pools are the big GPPs, but try to do everything you can to stay away from that unless you're throwing in 20 lineups or something. Play single entries. I know it'll be annoying when people sub, but you still have a decent chance when 1 to 2 guys sub when you get to the single entries that people are also going to have higher ownership on some of those plays that sub off. As far as the biggest sub risks in these projected lineups, I know that's a question I get quite a bit. I'm trying to make a team. I know KC in chat trying to make a team that is going to play at least all the 90 minutes. It's very tough to do in this scenario. I mean, you're going to have a lot of people that play 70 to 80 minutes. I don't know how many are going to play the full 90. I think Insigne is pretty safe to play 90 minutes as long as it's a close game. Let's see, who else? Emerson, like I mentioned earlier, should be pretty safe to play 90 with the injuries that they've had. Jorginho, I would expect to play 90. On the Spain side, they have been really a thorn in our side with some of these subs. I would expect Murata to play close to 90 minutes, but we have seen him get subbed I think it's really just going to be all about how the game's going, and if somebody's struggling, yeah, they're going to come off. But Gerard Moreno, I think he plays 70 to 80 in a close game, so I think that's enough for me. Koke could get subbed at 70. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But he could already get there with an assist or something like that, and he has the floor built in. Pedri, like I mentioned, is very safe not to sub in my eyes. So that's kind of my thoughts on the slate. I'm going to flip back over here, see if there's any questions. What's up, Travis? Sorry I was a little late tonight. Glad to get it done, though. Big week coming up. We got 2 back-to-back showdowns, so excited for that. And then we got the Sunday finale of Euros. So happy for that. If you have any questions, drop them into chat. I'm going to get out of here. It's been 20 minutes on a showdown slate. So there's a lot of GPP strategy, like I mentioned, but the cash floor plays are kind of built into the slate. I have them highlighted. Koke should be on the set pieces. Insigne and Verratti should split on the other side. So those would be the first 3 into cash, wherever you put them, whether it's utility or in the captain slot. So thanks again, you guys, for joining in. If you have any questions leading up to lock tomorrow, be sure to drop them in the Discord chat. Be happy to answer those for you all the way up until lock. We'll have the lineups updated an hour 15 before lock. So excited for that. Excited for these 2 matches. I expect them to be very close and very competitive. So good luck to everybody, and we will see you tomorrow night for the England and Denmark preview. Thanks.